phone call between the president and the founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. Sources telling CNN that the president at one point wasn't happy earlier today about a report he saw regarding the online retail giant.
Amazon feels the need to do this when companies hike up prices on goods every single freaking day.
On Amazon, in this report that Amazon might start listing the additional cost on specific items put in place by the tariffs, the president is clearly angry. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said she had spoken to him about it this morning.
On the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm.
It started with silence. No announcement, no ceremony, just vanished. Orders, paused shipments, canceled partnerships, then confirmation Amazon was pulling back not from a product line, not from an ad campaign, from the United States economy itself, in the shadow of escalating tariffs. A company that built its empire on speed, scale, and global efficiency is now reconfiguring its presence in its own home country. Not out of strategy, but out of necessity. $13 billion. That is the estimated fallout already rattling through Amazon's supply chains overnight, and this time the losses are not technical, they are structural. Before we continue, hit that like button to help us beat the YouTube algorithm. And to show your support, the numbers are unprecedented. In just 4 months, the United States government, under the returned leadership of President Donald Trump, has reimposed and expanded a full tariff regime, 10% universal import tariffs, 25% on Mexico and Canada, and for China, a devastating 145% effective tariff, layered across every product category from electronics to apparel to automotive components. For a company like Amazon that runs on razor-thin margins and relies on massive international sourcing, this is not a penalty, it is a blockade, and the first casualties are already here in April. Amazon began canceling orders from multiple vendors across Asia, purchase orders worth millions, voided without explanation. These were not speculative contracts. They were locked-in deals with delivery timelines and fulfillment schedules already in motion. The reason the tariffs, according to internal sources and confirmed news reports, Amazon anticipated the Trump administration's April announcement, a broad expansion of tariffs on more than 180 countries, and pulled the emergency brake. Do not ship, do not pay, do not deliver. The company's retail division froze procurement and its marketplace sellers. They were told to brace. That was the beginning. Next came the warehouses. Amazon confirmed that in preparation for the tariffs, it had instructed key third-party sellers to pull forward inventory. That meant placing large orders before tariffs went live, stockpiling merchandise inside U.S. warehouses, and trying to ride out the storm. And it worked for a moment, but stockpiling is a one-time move. And by June the buffer was gone. Now every new shipment Amazon receives from China, from India, from Vietnam, even from friendly nations, is hit with tariffs. The costs are real. The impact inescapable. Amazon's leadership has remained calm in public, but behind closed doors the picture is chaos. Third-party sellers, who make up more than half of all products sold on the platform, are sounding alarms for them. The margin pressure is immediate. Suppliers are raising prices, freight rates are unstable, customs delays are compounding losses, and consumers, they are starting to see the difference. Price tags are rising, delivery times are slipping. Product variety is narrowing, and yet Amazon is trying to hold the line. CEO Andy Jassy told investors in May that tariffs have not impacted demand, that the company is not seeing average selling prices rise in a meaningful way, but analysts say the reality is more nuanced. What customers see on the site is only half the story. What is happening behind the scenes is far more dramatic. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button to show your support to the channel. In April, the White House moved to close the so-called de minimis loophole, a policy that had allowed small packages from China to enter the United States duty-free for Amazon, which had quietly launched a budget platform called Amazon Haul. This was a blowhaul, was designed to compete with Shine Tamu and other ultra-low-cost retailers, flooding the U.S. market with direct-from-factory goods. But now every package, no matter how cheap, gets taxed. And that means Haul's entire business model, long shipping times, low prices, high volumes, is under threat. Amazon is not alone in this, but it is the biggest target. At one point, Amazon even considered labeling tariffs directly on its product pages. A test program would have displayed tariff costs included under the item price, making transparent what many shoppers never see. But when this plan was leaked, it set off a political firestorm. The White House accused Amazon of playing politics. President Trump personally contacted Jeff Bezos, and within 48 hours, Amazon walked the idea back. There would be no tariff transparency, not in public, but the damage was done. Amazon stock dropped, sellers panicked, customers noticed, and the narrative had shifted. This was no longer just a trade dispute. This was now an operational crisis internally. Amazon's logistics teams are racing to re-engineer routes, bonded warehouses, alternative ports, mid-ocean freight swaps. Every tool is being used to soften the blow. Some sellers are now routing goods through Canada, leveraging fulfillment hubs in Ontario and British Columbia to drip feed inventory into the United States at lower declared values. It is a legal but risky workaround. Others are shifting sourcing altogether from China to Vietnam, from India to Mexico. But these transitions are slow, and not every product can be remade overnight. Many Chinese manufacturers simply cannot be replaced, not in cost, not in quality, not in time. And so Amazon is facing a wall: raise prices, lose customers, eat the cost, lose margin, or walk away. And for some sellers, walking away is now the only option. Reports from marketplace insiders reveal that thousands of Chinese-based merchants are pulling back from Amazon US, choosing to focus on other regions where tariffs are lower and rules are clearer. Some are pivoting to Amazon Canada. Others are scaling up on Amazon UK or Germany. But the result for US customers is clear. Less selection, higher prices, slower restocks, and the numbers are climbing. Analysts estimate that the tariff burden across Amazon's network now exceeds $13 billion. That includes direct product costs, warehousing adjustments, canceled orders, sourcing realignment, and yes, consumer inflation. It is a tax hidden, spread across everything, and paid by everyone. Even Amazon cannot hide from it forever. In February, Amazon and Walmart both cut their earnings guidance for the first quarter of the year, quietly citing import cost pressures as a material factor. Investors heard, its suppliers heard it, and now customers are starting to feel it, because while Amazon still moves faster than any other company in the world, it cannot outrun the politics, and those politics are not going away. The United States Court of International Trade ruled in May that President Trump's broad tariff powers may exceed constitutional limits, that tariff authority lies with Congress. And yet on June 10th, a federal appeals court stayed the ruling, meaning the tariffs remain in place for now, and the signals from Washington are mixed. On one hand, a tentative tariff truce with China is in the works, one that could reduce the average tariff rate from 145% to 55%, but it is not signed, not confirmed, not real yet, and in the meantime, companies like Amazon are in limbo. Shoppers may not see the full cost yet, but it is coming as advanced inventory runs out, as rerouted freight hits capacity, as seller margins collapse. The impact will spread, and the people who will feel it the most: small businesses. The independent sellers, the homegrown brands, the family-run resellers. They do not have warehouses in 5 countries. They do not have multi-year freight contracts. They do not have lawyers negotiating with customs authorities. They have price tags and delivery dates, and right now both are under threat. Amazon, for all its power, cannot save every seller. It cannot subsidize every margin. It cannot absorb every tariff. And so it adapts quietly, pulling out of low-profit categories, scaling back first-party orders, freezing new vendor signups, slowing investment into new product lines, and in some cases, shutting down entire teams that depend on fragile import flows. This is what fallout looks like. It is not dramatic, it is not obvious, it is slow and surgical, but it is happening right now. And for Amazon, the question is not whether the system can adapt, it is whether it can survive.